안녕하세요. 안녕하세요. 아까 계셨던 분들도 뵙게 됐네요. 저는 더콰이엇리프 매거진의 김진엽이라고 합니다. 저는 오늘 이제 이번 토크의 모더레이터로 최선을 해보겠습니다. 마이크 잡은 지 오랜만이라서 좀 떨리네요. 저희 광주 분이 많으신가요? 네, 한 2명 계시나 봐요. 네. 오늘의 주제는 저희 외국에서 두 손님을 모셨는데 같이 이제 스트리트 패션, 스트리트 컬처에 대한 아이덴티티 그리고 그런 컬처적인 인플루언스에 대해서 또 콜라보레이션, 그 브랜드 간의 콜라보레이션 그리고 커뮤니티에 대해서 이야기를 나누도록 할 건데요. 참고로 아까처럼 오늘의 토크는 영어로 진행될 거예요. 그리고 마지막에 한 5분, 10분 정도 Q&A 세션이 있을 건데 저희 토크 중간에 질문이 있거나 궁금한 점 있으시면은 킵해뒀다가 마지막에 적극적으로 질문해 주시면 됩니다. 그리고 이제 영어로 진행되는 토크인 만큼 저희가 또 기술적인 솔루션이 있어요. 저희 아마 AI 번역기가 있어요. 그래서 제 뒤에 있는 화면에 보시면 한글로 네, 내용을 따라잡을 수 있습니다. 자, 그러면 오늘 토크 재밌게 들어주시고 이제 저희 두 게스트를 소개하겠습니다. 제리 하하 그리고 켄찬 두 분이 올라와서 직접 소개할 겁니다.
Welcome to Love Machine.
안녕.
So you already have some fans in Korea. That's great.
Yeah.
If you want to say hello to the Gwangju people, the beautiful city of Gwangju.
The city is beautiful, you know, you guys are amazing. Saw the energy last night with Glico, all the homies. It was really great.
I was out yesterday. I had too much fun in Gwangju.
Say less.
That's what Gwangju does to you. For me, I'm going to be the third wheel of this talk. As I said before, my name is Jin Yob. I run a skateboard culture magazine, and I'm going to try my best to be interesting too. So maybe it's hard to find definitions, but if we want to introduce what you guys are doing, so Ken-chan, you are co-founder of tokyovitamin, and Jerry, you famously run Artificial Dust, and
Yes.
you guys know each other, right? Before,
Yeah.
and where did you meet, and when did you meet?
Maybe like 10 years ago? Not that long?
Yeah, I think around like 10 years ago because I was living in Japan 10 years ago and the street scene was smaller back then and
Yes.
everyone just kind of know each other. If you go out after like 10 p.m., everyone just became friends, you know, in Shibuya. So I think that's how we met. And then I started DJing back then, and then eventually we all just met as the creatives.
That's originally how tokyovitamin started too. We're just, before we, whatever we're doing now, we're just hanging out, you know, and that's how the community was built. During that process, I met him.
That's awesome, and I think it's always interesting to see how organic things happen if you just let go and don't try too hard. Could you quickly introduce tokyovitamin and AD for us?
Tokyovitamin is, you know, label. We do events, we do brands. We just do a bunch of things that feel natural to us, kind of, I guess. Yeah.
So for me, Artificial Dust is an agency that I started in 2021 during COVID, and we specialize in productions, PR, marketing, and just bringing people together in the creative scene. And we work with different brands such as like Adidas and like Louis Vuitton, and then we create just art and editorial content together while we line up different creatives in the world.
much more proper answer than me.
Is your background in graphic or what?
My background, because I didn't go to school, so I'm not like trained professionally. So I basically just learned everything from my friends, you know, with Kimdaejung, you know, with the video, with the VJ and everything, and DJing just by going out many nights and many drinks and many whiskey, many sochus.
Actually using the CDJs so
Yeah.
many times.
Yeah,
Like-
and basically just getting in front of the DJ booth and looking at how they twist the knobs and what this do and what that does, you know. So that's kind of like how I get into everything, you know, graphic design, photography, video, you know, just being here, you know, at the same time as well.
Just actually experiencing it, right?
Yeah. You just
doing
have
it.
to like, cause sometimes you can't really train to be a creative, right? You just have to like do it, and
You can't learn that.
you can't learn that, and you just have to learn by mistake, and also just working with your friends. That, you know, it's all about community and organic vibes. You know, it's hard to explain, but it's just like we're based on vibes. You know, like it's really not that deep.
So basically, enjoy yourselves, be yourselves, and let mistakes happen when they happen, right?
For sure.
Trial and error is a big thing. As a skater, I can relate because when we go out film a clip for video, the video clip is gonna be 3 seconds long, and we try all day. It might take 50 takes, 100 takes, and then all you see is 2 seconds of the trick.
Yeah,
It's-
let alone that all day for that 3 seconds. You haven't mentioned about learning that trick for 10 years to get to that 3 seconds, you know? So you skip the whole bunch of things. So it's basically same concept as a skater like you know, you have to learn how to, you know, I can never land an ollie. You know, I've been kind of like, I have the board there for like 15 years. I can never land an ollie, but you know, I just gave up because it's not really my thing. And now I'm like, you know, I can't bear of like getting hurt or getting anything. So it's just like, I just gave up on that, you know?
Jerry, I read that somewhere that your life motto was to question everything.
Oh yeah.
Is that still valid?
Oh yeah, always. You know, you no matter it's the lunch that you're consuming or like the dinner that you're trying to eat tonight, you always have to question it. You know, like why do I want this? It's like there's a reason to everything. So like if you get that reason, either like oh maybe I don't like the color of these speakers or like I like the colors of this socket. You know, it's like but why? You know, why do you like it and why do you not like it? So in the midst of getting there, you're figuring yourself out as you go. So that's kind of like how I work my way out in every situation.
I think yeah, that's the. I guess with Floppy, the whole thing is about finding taste and developing character and finding out what you like and what you dislike. And I think a lot of this speaks to that theme, like just try and figure out and think about why I like certain things and why I don't like certain things, and then I think that narrows down what you essentially want and what you don't want. With tokyovitamin and Artificial Dust, you are both influential players in the Asian street culture, and today we want to talk about some of these things, namely your insight into the market, and then I also would like to talk about collaborations and the power of working together, and maybe if we have time enough, the future of street culture. So Ken-chan, you grew up in Shibuya, and I am a strong believer in that one's environment shapes a person's character. We are all, I think, products of our environment
Yes.
to some degree, right?
Yep.
And now we have the internet and social media and everything, but are there things that you picked up as a kid in Japan, in Shibuya, that shaped you in a way that's just part of you now that you can't shake?
I think I was very surrounded by a lot of culture, just being from Shibuya. Also a very chaotic place, but very historically cultural, kind of. All the record stores are there, all the clubs are there. I didn't know that when I was growing up, but once I was more into that culture, when I looked it up, it's like, oh, all these things were from where I'm from, kind of. So that kind of connected me to the culture more. Plus, just it's a place where people gather, and I'm used to people, like, you know, just meeting random people, meeting new people, like meeting the same people over and over. Just like that, I think, kind of, yeah.
It's I grew up in a small industrial town in Germany, and I was
Hey, I didn't know that.
one of like
That's kind of cool.
two Asian families and only skater, and I was always an outsider kind of thing. So this speaks to me because I think it's when you meet like-minded people, you look up to the former generation and the
Yes.
players in that time, and
Yes.
then you try to find people you identify with, and it's
Right.
it's very nice to have people to guide you through things and answer your questions without mocking you and
Right.
stuff. So that's very cool to hear. Same for you? Have you-
Well, growing up, I was always the kid. You know, I was always the youngest, and I was always just, you know, kind of like lurking around and not trying to do anything. I'm just looking, you know, I'm just like observing a lot of different things because all my friends are 5 years, 10 years older than me. And, you know, as I see they do their own thing, I can just learn from them, you know, without me making the so-called mistake or like failure, you know, like they can try and I can just look, oh, if you do that, that will happen to that. But then, you know, when it comes to me, maybe the outcome would be different. So, you know, I can still judge in different angles and looking in different perspective. So surrounding myself with different, not just creative, but different people that it's like older than you, always benefits for you, you know, because you can always, as long as you keep an open mind and you keep sort of like analyzing and observing their work, and you eventually, you know, work your way up and just be a better person in general.
Yeah, I think in any case we can always learn from the good things and even maybe the mistakes of our predecessors, right? And when we talk about originality and unique energy that you mentioned, and we compare Asia or East Asia to the global stage, because you both are based in Asia, but you have a global following and you make moves all around the globe. What do you think are some of the qualities that Asia brings compared to other regions?
Maybe I'll go first. I think it's, well, to me, you know, we're just human beings, but for me, growing up, I'm surrounded by people with love and also just a lot of love and a lot of like care. So growing up, I'm just like trying to spread love, you know, and be a good person. And once you're a good person, you know, I strongly believe in law of attraction. So when you're nice to people, they'll be nice to you, you know, even if they're maybe not nice to you in some way, you still need to be nice to them because that's a respect to your own self. So bringing that to a so-called global stage, it's just, you know, not to be cocky, but I feel like that's meant to be, you know, that's something because we can only work together for so long until we get to meet other people from different parts of the world, and then we can just, you know, spread our wings.
I feel like we do a lot of like traveling back and forth too. Like I was just in Hong Kong too, beginning of May. He's coming to Japan like in a week.
Right
or
after
something.
this, yeah. We
yeah.
were just talking about how we've seen each other 3 times in different countries
Yeah,
within
yeah,
this
yeah.
month, you know, in a span of 30 days.
Yeah. Just in East Asia or Asia, we've been traveling.
But I think maybe what you touched on before, what's special to Asia is that we are friendly first a lot of time. I don't want to label any other countries, but I think it's in our maybe Confucian upbringing that we're friendly first, we are respectful to others, and we don't try, at least people are all different, but I try not to judge others people's works and stuff.
Yes.
And that brings us together, I think, more easily and more openly to collaborate with each other, and then travel the world and meet you guys three times in different countries. About artificial dust, you said you're a creative studio, but we talked about maybe there's not necessity to label something, but how do you describe the development? How did artificial dust become the animal that it is?
Well, to me, it's just doing whatever I feel like doing at that moment. You know, I don't really have big plans for the brand or like the studio because, well, the reason that I started the company because I needed a business account. That was it. I was doing artificial dust, 20 years ago already. You know, it's in my blood. You know, it's just a name to me. So it's the exact same thing, but I just have to pay taxes now, you know? Like, I grew up and I needed to like have a business account to get paid. So like that's pretty much it. So like the development of it is basically just, me going out, meeting different people, me being in Gwangju and meeting all you guys. And it's just, I'm just a kid trying to like be happy and it's nothing that deep, and whatever makes me happy, I'll just do it, like the people that surrounded by me and the stuff that I do, it's all based on myself and how do I include all my friends in a situation that they would feel comfortable and also their work will be seen in a global stage or in a bigger space.
So you provide a platform for others around you to.
I would say I'm more like a middleman that connects creative people because often I feel like creatives, they're really good at their work, but they might not be the best as talking to brands or corporates and stuff like that. But then growing up, because of me surrounded by different, older generations and also like people with professions, I get to pick up terminology from them and also get to learn their presence and how they speak and how they talk. So that's how I sort of like, I also speak the so-called street language and also the corporate language. So I'm the middle person. I'm like the translator, like I'm translating how do I make this skate kit and reach out to, let's say like Vans, Adidas, Nike, and how do I talk, how do I kind of like sweet talk their language into a corporate language that they would understand and to make that work, so like I'm more of a person to do that.
About tokyovitamin.
Yes.
You started with music, is that correct? Predominantly?
So we did start with music, but music events, I guess. We were DJing. We had a radio thing on SoundCloud. We invited people to just like make mixes. Then that ended up being like, oh, I need these like beat makers, rappers, singers. They were like, oh, we want to release something, and oh, then we need videos, we need content. Just like naturally making things.
Yeah.
That ended up making. We made like a few compilation albums called Vitamin Blue, Vitamin Yellow, and yeah, like just releasing things.
And you opened the door to a new question. The importance of community.
Yes.
And staying authentic and building a network that's organic instead of trying hard and paying for becoming some kind of platform or some kind of community. How do you, if we talk about gatekeeping, or how do you avoid things like that?
I mean, there's just like things that people are good at, and some people are like, oh, I want to make videos, I want to take photos. Let them do whatever they want to do, and like that gatekeeping part is hard. I mean, people go out for themselves already, so like you can't gatekeep a person. People they're gonna be hit up anyways. So.
But I feel like gatekeeping is kind of important in a way where I need that person to find that key. The gate is always closed, but like you gotta find your way to like squeeze yourself in, like it has like big gaps. It's not like a closed gate, but like it has gaps in it. But you gotta find, maybe like you gotta go around the gate, find a way to go in, like for me, my gate is always closed. But then I want you to figure out how to go in, like either you like jumped in or like you find a step and you climbed in, whatever, you'll work your way out. Like the gate is not always open. Like it's not always wide open like that, but you gotta work your way.
About gatekeeping yourself?
Yeah.
I didn't know that was the thing.
But did you, because your gate seems to be more open, did you have, because not everybody likes everybody, obviously, but did you have any instances where people approached you and wanted to do something with you and you didn't really feel them? That you didn't really click with them, or?
I mean, that happens all the time too. A lot of projects don't. Not all projects, work out good. So I think that's a natural thing. When it does happen, though, like I feel proud of it, and like I think it's a good thing. But
So I guess it's a question about balance. How do you balance the weight of that gate and how you let people in? And if we talk about collaborations, I think it's one of the most vital things that are necessary in order to grow or in order to expand your horizon, because collaboration partners, they think, and everybody else has stuff that you don't have, and I think it just widens your horizon. Could you give us an example of a collab where the substance and the execution were both to your satisfaction, where you thought, oh, this is fucking awesome?
a few years ago, we did a collaboration with Tower Records. Sorry. Tower Records, originally from America. It's a record store or CD shop. The biggest one in Tokyo is in Shibuya, and I connected with that because it's where I'm from, and it's like proper company music. It's like 7 stories, and they have event space, and like it's culturally, bringing people together with music. And we just did like a t-shirt collaboration and pop up inside, but that was like a proper company and like brand like connecting for us, kind of. That was kind of cool. But if it's like local artists, like people we kind of like grew up with, like Verdi, we saw him blew up kind of, and like we did collaborations with him along the way and stuff, and like those things, like all those mean a lot to us too. So there you go.
Well, to me, it's a recent Adidas campaign video that we did with a new kid from Hong Kong called Off God and Tate. So the new kid's 20 years old, but they have their official collab with Adidas Originals, and it's a China release only. But then I put so much effort into making that campaign video super fine, super cool. Flew in different directors around the world, find out, like sound designers, and the sound, everything is produced, everything is original. So I went way over budget on that, but because of me trying to put people on the global stage, we need to make that happen, because I feel like Hong Kong is always like an underdog, and people don't really look at Hong Kong as a creative city or whatsoever, right? People look at Shanghai, people look at Tokyo, Seoul. But Hong Kong is always kind of like, but so it's I feel like it's a duty for me to like, okay, now we have to make this crazy video and make it out, and people need to see it. I don't really advertise my own work like that, but for that video, I just went all out. And when we were on set shooting the whole thing, it was so fun. It was like one of the most fun shoot that I've ever been. And for the directors and the DOP and the producer, everyone just like started cracking up beers in the middle of the shoot, and we were just like cheering and having so much fun. And at the end of it, we just wrapped it, and the director gave me a hug, and he said, this is one of my best shoot ever. Like, this is crazy. The way that you put together the whole community, like all the kids and everything, the energy in the room was crazy. And it turns out the product shows, basically, because we put our heart into it, put so much love into it. And just because of that, and it shows in the end product. So it's always, memorable for us.
That's awesome. If you're curious later, please check out the websites. You'll see the product that Jerry was talking about. Next question is about social media, because when we talk about collaborations and finding ways to tap into a new scene and maybe another culture, For collabs to grow outside and get on the global stage, how do you use social media and digital platforms to your advantage?
I'm not the best at social media stuff, so I'm more like in-person things, but I think Jerry's more on that.
I mean, yeah, comparatively, I'm more active, I guess. But also at the same time, I think people are so relying on social media and they sort of forget that you'd actually have to do the work in order to put out to social media. I've met so many people where they just like to announce every single thing on social media. You know how it is? Like,
Yes.
like you started a project or like you just got signed up to a project and the first thing you do is to post on social media. And that is very bad for you because you get that adrenaline of, oh, I've actually done the work. You know, people are praising you, saying that, oh, congratulations to getting this gig, getting this project. But then that should come right after you finish the project, not that you got the project,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And after you get that, you're like, oh, I'm kind of done. You know, like that's the end goal of me getting all the hands and clapping and all that cheer, right? So it's kind of dangerous for people to, or at least for me, to like post before anything is out or like anything is like set in stone. I don't like to talk about the work that I'm working on until that it's out, until that is ready, because I don't want people to praise it before that it's going out. So it's a dangerous zone, but also at the same time, it's very important for people to use it as a platform to showcase your work. But then don't forget that you have to make the work in order to get it showcased, you know?
This is always dangerous to celebrate too soon.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. I'm like, don't celebrate, don't clap, don't do anything. Like this is not the end, you know?
It's not done, you know?
It's not done yet, you know? For us, it's not done yet. So it's like never celebrate too early.
And not to put too much weight on your shoulders, but you're quite influential in taste making, and you represent the Asia market, or let's say the Asian scene. And what role do you think, because creative culture and street culture is all over the place, all over the globe, but I feel like there's maybe some differences and nuances in different regions of the world. And what do you think is Asia and East Asia bringing to the table that other regions don't have?
Okay. I think growing up in Asia, and I feel like we are more traditional than others in a way because we have a lot of traditions. You know, in China, in Japan, in Korea, we have a lot of like a great foundation of tradition stuff. And now I feel like people are using that and then sort of like interpreting into a modern scenario and putting out new works in a way that it's like super interesting to me.
Plus, I think the history, especially Japan, there's long history of street culture, and you know, everything's like recycled and coming back to life again, but in new ways, old ways, you know, trends, and like just like everything's kind of like done over and over again. But like it's kind of interesting to see how new people do old things too. So.
And also the attention to details, I think, is very different. You know, especially in Japan, it's, you know, the way of tuning and refining and making everything perfect. It's amazing, but in a way that they are twisting. You know, just like how Japan has a great vintage culture, and they have a love for American vintage, but then they interpret in a Japanese way where they create new stuff, so that it's like based on the traditional scenes and a background, and then now they create something new off a traditional, so it's always like gonna be fresh.
I think that's very valuable for us to notice that we in Asia, we have a cultural and historical archive that we can pull from. And for me, I noticed that a long time ago, back in the day when I was young, I feel like a lot of Western countries were predominant and leading the creative scene or the cultural, like in fashion, for example. Let's take fashion. I feel like a lot of Asian markets, or let's say the Korean market at least, try to copy a lot of the American stuff. And I think now it's maybe not reversed, but at least open
A
and
good
equal,
balance, yeah.
right? Yeah, I think it's balanced, like you said. Yeah,
Yes.
and I feel like you see this in. I think Adidas had recently had a tracksuit with from China design, and they had traditional elements in in their garments and everything, and that broke the internet a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So things like this, I think we can notice how we put Asian seasoning on something that's already existing out there.
Well, I think it's always a balance of appreciating different culture and also sticking different elements and make sure you're doing it right and finding the right people to guide you to do that. You know, and it's a beautiful thing. I feel like, you know, we're all as one and we're just working our way out and figuring new stuff together.
I see we only have a little time left. Maybe some questions from the audience. Let's start our Q&A question. 저희 관객분들 질문 있으시면 저희 두 분한테 혹은 저한테 질문 있으시면 손을 높이 들어주시면 마이크가 어디선가 나타날 겁니다. 조금 더 생각해 보시고 없으시면 제가 할게요. Okay, let's have one more question from our sheet. 여기 맨 앞줄 질문이 있어요. 질문은 편하게 한국어로 해주셔도 되고 영어로 해주셔도 되고요.
아, 네. 그러면은 그 한국 혹은 서울이나 광주에서 가장 인상 깊게 봤던 스트릿 씬은 어떤 게 있으신지 좀 궁금합니다.
Let me translate. The question was, while you were traveling in Seoul and Gwangju, have you seen anything that the most interesting or anything interesting in terms of street fashion, street culture that struck your
I think-
interest?
Well, I go to Seoul quite often, just to like hang out and leisure. I feel like Seoul is a great energy of like bringing in new silhouette and also like new look to the world, not just to Korea. They always have the newest technology, you know, with brands like post-archive fashions, you know, like everything like that. They're inventing new stuff, you know, where in, let's say, Japan, you know, it's big on vintage, but what I realized in Seoul, it's not many vintage shops, and so it's all like new clothing, new brands, new different things, and people are so into the idea of creating new stuff, which is amazing, you know, like they're figuring out, and we're in the midst of looking and seeing great things coming in like the next 5 years, you know, so it's amazing, you know, to see.
The question was for like Seoul and Gwangju, but I think it's the people, like anywhere I go, like watching people like have new looks, and I think that's like translatable to that. Like,
That's awesome.
yep.
그러니까 광주뿐만 아니라 서울뿐만 아니라 이제 해외에서는 많은 이제 빈티지가 많은데 일본도 그렇고요. 근데 한국은 항상 새로운 걸 많이 추구한다고 생각하는 것 같대요. 그리고 한 명은 이제 켄찬이 봤을 때는 특히 서울에서는 사람들이 브랜드나 뭐 다른 것보다는 사람들이 옷 입고 다니는 모습들이 좀 새롭고 그렇다고 하네요. 제 생각에는 저는 최근에 생각했을 때 한국은 리테일에 힘을 좀 많이 쓰는 것 같아요. 다른 나라에 비했을 때. 근데 그게 좀 멋있으면서도 궁금하기는 하거든요. 돈이 많이 들 것 같아서. 근데 뭐 커피숍이나 뭐 옷가게 브랜드들 보면은 리테일에 굉장히 신경을 많이 쓰는 것 같아요. 근데 그게 좀 멋있는 것 같기도 해요. 질문 감사합니다. 네.
감사합니다.
나라마다 좀 컬처가 이렇게 떠오르는 시대가 있잖아요. 저는 예전에 이제 일본이 좀 그랬었던 것 같고 그 다음에 한국으로 넘어오면서 요즘에 보면은 홍콩에서 컴플렉스 콘도 개최를 했단 말이에요. 그래서 요즘에 홍콩이 이제 그런 컬처 문화적으로 떠오르고 있는 것 같은데 제리나 이제 켄짱이 봤을 때는 다음 넥스트 시리는 어떤 도시가 이제 떠오를까 문화적으로 혹시 뭐 생각하고 있는 그런 것들이 있는지 궁금해요.
So maybe you got it already from the prompter, but yeah, good. So the question was, there in the past years there have been times where certain places in Asia were booming and
Yes.
getting more attention than others, and that was the case for Japan and Tokyo for a long
Yep.
time, and then Hong Kong recently as well. And the question was, in the upcoming years, do you foresee any regions that are really exciting for you guys?
I think Hong Kong's fun now.
Hong Kong is
Hong
fun,
Kong's
you know.
Like,
Hong Kong is, you know, because Hong Kong everything is so expensive, and it's kind of like New York, Singapore. Everything, the rent is crazy. There's not much creative in Hong Kong because of the financial situation. It's a lot of like bankers and lawyers and doctors, but then because of that, people are more eager to sort of go out and do crazy stuff, you know, because growing up, we're like, it's not usual for our parents to be like, oh, you can be a creative, you can be a singer, you can be a painter. So, but once, if I'm, you know, determined enough to do it, and great things will come out as a product.
and she was asking about the next place, right? I feel like Bangkok is,
Yeah.
it's already been good, fun place, but like in the next like 10 years, like it's gonna be, it's a hub, like geography wise, like it's between like big Asia, East Asia, and Europe. So like a mix of cultures happening, and like, yep.
그러니까 홍콩에 대한 이야기를 조금 해주셨고, 다음은 태국에 있는 방콕. 방콕이 굉장히 컬처적으로 이제 앞으로 커질 거라고 10년 내로. 제가 홈브락을 봤을 때는 최근에 본 게 이스트 에이시아보다 사우스 이스트 에이시아가 굉장히 뜨거운 것 같아요. 인도네시아랑 저는 말레이시아도 굉장히 재밌다고 생각하고 있어요. 요즘 또 뭐 인스타그램이나 인터넷이 발달돼서 다 찾아보시면은 엄청 재밌는 활동들이 많아요. 저희가 이제 시간이 많이 없어가지고 엄청 질문 꼭 안 하면 안 되겠다 싶은 분 있으시면 손 들어주시고, 그렇지 않으면 저기요, 마지막 질문.
SNS에 대해서 말씀해 주셨는데 그 SNS가 발전하면서 문화가 소비되고 피상적으로만 소비되는 경향도 있고, 그다음에 유행이 빨라지기 때문에 소비자들이 그런 걸 되게 빨리 캐치하는 경향이 있는데, 레이블을 운영하는 사람의 입장에서 그런 빨라지는 소비 트렌드에 대해서 어떻게 대응하고 계신지, 그다음에 어떻게 경계해서 자기의 그런 중심을 지키려고 노력하시는지, 그런 부분이 궁금합니다.
좋은 질문이에요. Very good question. Difficult. With the rapid speed of things changing and the exchange of information and how everything is available at the tip of your finger, so is the consumption of things. The attention span and everything gets eaten up and visually and
Yes.
very much faster than before.
Right.
The question is, how do you feel about that? How do you prevent it, or do you play with it? And how do you stay true to your initial beliefs?
Touch grass. You just gotta go out. You just gotta go out, go to the
Yeah.
park, go for a run. You know, do real stuff. You know,
Sometimes you just gotta not touch your phone and look at the internet, right? Stay away.
So, but if you have if you put something out, for example, the radio show, or you
Yes.
have a compilation, and
Yes.
it's you put in a lot of effort, and we have the same thing in skateboarding. We work very hard for a video, and then people, you know, it's gone in the feed. It's so fast.
I think it's about not just posting it. You know, you gotta talk to people directly about it. It's like talk, you know, messaging them. Like if it's just on the feed, it's just another thing on the feed. But if I tell you about it, it makes it personal for them, and that's better than just like, you know. It's just an advertisement when you don't do that process. When something is more personal, I feel it means more to everyone. So
And it's always just do it for yourself. You know, like never
that is true too.
do it for someone else, because you know, don't care about too much about, you know, how many likes you're getting, how many comments you're getting. Like as long as the work is done, that is only a tool for you to like get it out. But then if you're true to yourself and if you believe in the work, that doesn't matter. Like anyone says anything, it doesn't matter. Like it's you just have to like believe in yourself, and if the work is happy to you, that's good enough. Like that's it. Everything that comes after is a bonus.
Yes.
좋은 질문 감사합니다. 대답이 되셨나요?
조금 방향이 다르긴 한데
아, 네.
감사합니다.
다시 하실래요? 아니에요. 그러면 이따가 두 분도 그렇고 지금 부스가 따로 있으니까요. 저희 더 깊은 얘기는 시간이 없는 관계로 직접 만나서 그리고 아까 대답 중에 있었어요. 직접 만나서 이야기 나누고 교류하고 그러면서 깊이가 생긴다고 하시더라고요. 그러면 오늘 저희 토크 재밌게 들으셨는지 모르겠지만 저는 너무 재밌었습니다. 여러분과 함께 이렇게 광주에서 플로피 3.0에서 두 친구들을 만나게 되고 재밌는 얘기를 나누면서 배운 것도 많은 것 같아요. 들어주셔서 감사합니다. 저희 네, 여기서 이렇게 인사드리겠습니다. 지금까지 MC 김진엽이었습니다. 감사합니다.
감사합니다.
알자마스.